Hello my fellow foodies, this is Chef Kevin, and I'm going to be making a classic dish tonight. This is pan-seared filet mignon. This is a popular steak in just about any high-end restaurant. Now, there's a few advantages and a few disadvantages with filet mignon. One of the disadvantages is the fact that it's expensive, and it also doesn't have much taste. There are other cuts of steak that have a lot more taste than filet mignon, but on the upside, filet mignon is tender. It's the tenderest of the cuts. That's because it's from the tenderloin. The tenderloin actually has three parts to it: the butt, the filet mignon, and the tail. Let's take a closer look at the ingredients and what's involved in this steak. This is the filet mignon I picked up from my local butcher. It is smallish, but usually it's not too much larger than this. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of fat on it. And this is tender because it's the most unused muscle on the cow. So in order for filet mignon to be tasty, you have to do a couple of things. You have to either make a very nice sauce, or you have to add some fat. Okay, I'm going to be doing both of those. I'm going to be making a nice little red wine sauce with cream, and I'm going to be adding some fat. This is why the strip of bacon is here. I'm going to wrap the bacon around the steak, and that's a process called larding. Larding is when you put fat on the outside of a piece of meat, whether it's chicken or beef. Okay, I also have some nice white mushrooms here. I have my cream, my wine. Let's get into this because I'm hungry. Okay, I have my white mushrooms, white button mushrooms sauteing. This is the filet. Going to use a good amount of salt and pepper on this. You should always take your steaks out ahead of time. You want to cook your steaks at room temperature. This way it'll cook more evenly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the bacon around the steak like that. Tie it up with a little piece of butcher's twine here. That's it. Going to roll it around in the pepper and salt and make sure I coat up the bacon as well. This is pretty much ready to go. My mushrooms have to cook down a little bit more. And then I'm going to use the same pan to saute the filet mignon in. Mushrooms nice and golden brown. Keep those aside. Okay, you want to have a real hot pan for this steak. Not red hot, but hot. It's hot enough right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Going to add a piece of butter. Nice chunk of butter. And a little oil. Now the reason you use butter is because it has a higher cooking temperature. So it won't catch fire as easily if you just use oil. I also have some thyme here. I'm going to go ahead and put that right in. Thyme blends really well with just about any type of beef. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear it and get a nice coating on all sides. I'm going to flip it around, top and bottom and the sides, just so that it cooks evenly. And then I'm shooting for medium rare, which is my favorite, and just about any gourmet diner appreciates medium rare. And that's about 135 degrees. So I'm going to be using a meat thermometer. That's the most accurate way of obtaining the right cooking temperature. Don't go nowhere. Okay folks, I don't know how well you can really see the dial, but it's at 135. It's actually 140. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. It's nice and crispy on the outside. I'm going to keep it warm in the oven. It'll continue to cook for a little bit longer. Okay, let's get right into the sauce. This is the same pan that the filet was cooked in, so it has a lot of nice flavors in it. I have some red wine here, some Merlot. I would say that's about pretty much a cup. I'm going to add some beef broth. This is not stock. I don't have stock on hand, but this will have to do. Turn it up to high. I'm going to reduce that. Now make sure you use a good quality wine. Don't use that cheap ass $2.99 cooking wine you get at the supermarket. Okay, this has been reducing. It's kind of syrupy. It's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and add some heavy cream. Nobody's on a diet today. Yeah, that's about 3/4 of a cup, I'd say. Gonna let this come to a boil and let that reduce. Who's hungry? Okay, folks. This sauce has been reducing for like 15 minutes. And if you take a spoon and run it back and forth, you can see the bottom of the pan. That means it's nice and thick. I'm going to take a nice big piece of butter here. Turn the stove off. Add the cold butter. And this is called polishing. Polishing the sauce. You want to make it look nice and have a nice sheen to it, and this will also thicken it up. Okay, I'm getting ready to plate. Madame et Messieurs, your filet mignon is ready to be served. Garnished with mushrooms and parsley, and served with a side of orzo and green peas. Let's cut right into this bad boy and see what it looks like. Perfect medium rare. Nice char on the outside. Very nice, if I must say so myself. It's beautiful, it's tender, crispy on the outside. Nice and moist on the inside. Okay, folks. I wish you were here. Thanks for watching.